Welcome to the UON Community Marketplace, which was completed by Group 5. I'm Corey Pickett. You'll see the rest of my group mates in a little bit. So, starting off with user registration, specifically the registration page. The registration page requires an email, password, and phone number. A user must confirm password again before registration is complete, and all fields must be completed before registration. The page also contains a link to the login page if a user has already created an account, and all the registration page is linked to Firebase authentication for easy verification. Alright, again, I'm going to demo for you the registration page. So I have just created a new email for this demonstration. If I set our password, confirm it, and a phone number, we can now register. Perfect. So we have now registered for the UON Marketplace. The user registration login page requires both an email and a password. Passwords can be revealed using the show button if you're not sure if you've typed it correctly. All fields must be complete before a user is logged into our website. The login page also contains a link to the registration page if you haven't already created an account. And it also contains a link to a forgotten password page to reset passwords for verified emails. And this again is also verified by using Firebase authentication. So now I'm going to demo the login page quickly. So based on our previous work, you can see that there is now a email represented for what I did in the previous section, created today with a unique user UID. So if I was to go to the login page, I enter this same email and the same password, click login. We would now enter the marketplace. The profiles page, the main overview of the profiles page, it displays the user email, profile picture, UID, and username if a user has set a username. The profile page has multiple tabs to organize profile aspects, and it displays the number of listings posted and number of saves from other users at a quick glance. Okay, so now we're moving on to the profile page section. For this section, I have changed users to the admin, just so we already have things filled out and you can get a more of a greater sense of what the marketplace looks like. So here we have our overview with our user email, UID and current username, as well as 3 listings posted by our admin user. The My Listings tab of the Profiles page displays all current listings from the user, and from this page users can view, edit and delete their listings. Listings are displayed with the most recent appearing first, which will be on the left hand side of the page. If we head to My Listings, these are the 3 listings mentioned before, in which we can view, edit and delete all 3 of them. Profile page Save Listings displays all listings saved by the user, displays the most recently saved similar to the My Listings page, and only displays current available listings. If a listing is sold, then it will no longer appear in their saved listings. Now if we head to our Saved section, we have one saved item here from which we can view the item and maybe go on to buy it or message the seller, any number of things. The My Purchases and My Sales section displays all previous purchases and sales from the user. Users can view items but cannot interact with the listings, whether it be their own or purchase. And once a listing is sold, it cannot be edited or sold again. And next we have a My Purchases. The admin user has previously purchased a lab coat. We are allowed to view it. We head into the view section, we cannot save it, and we cannot interact with it at all, apart from viewing the different images or the listing. If I head to My Sales, we have 3 previous sales from this user, all of which can be viewed but not interacted with, similar to My Purchases. Finally, the Settings section of the profile page displays a selection of profile settings, such as updating email, password, adding a profile picture, and adding a username. Users also have an additional sign out button at the bottom of this settings page. Alright, so for the final section, the settings of the profile section, we have the ability to update an email, change your password, change profile picture, and change username. If I go to update our password, we set a new password here. So this test123, test123, confirm the change. Update is successful. And if we sign out and sign back in again with test123, just make sure it's in there correctly, and log in, we are now logged in. Alright, now to demo the changing profile picture. So if I click this button, I update the profile photo, select my image, gives us a little preview, and save that. Update successful. It now appears in place of the old profile picture. And finally, we have the username. Currently, our username is admin12. If we have admin123 instead, username has now been updated. We return to the profile. Updates there. I refresh. Now updates across the whole page. So we are all set.
Hello, my name is Christiaan Merx, and I'll be presenting to you the item listings segment of this demonstration. Here I have a general description of the 3 main traits of the create listing, edit listing, and delete listing functions of the listings. Here we have a description of the create listing. It allows authenticated users to post new items with titles, a category, condition of the product, prices, description, and photos. It has client-side validation, and it has required fields and stuff, so that the listing has content inside it. And then it has a server-side validation on submit. And then it also has the capability of having item handling, and it can allow the user to upload images from their files, from their folders and files to the website for showing their product. After that, we have edit listing. Edit listing allows the owners of the listing to edit all fields and photos from that listing. It has safeguards and guardrails to prevent the people from being able to edit that listing, as well as prevents the owner from editing the listing once the item has been sold or archived. It has the ability to edit all fields, including photo management, which allows you to upload or remove images that were uploaded to the listing. And then it also has audibility, which allows you to change prices and statuses for moderation. And then lastly, we have delete listings, which allows the owner of the listing to be able to delete that listing if it hasn't been solved or archived or reserved by admins. And then it also has a hard delete which can be done by admins to delete or block items for management of the site. So here's a demonstration of navigating to the listings from the main page. We can see here we can either go to create listing up here or create a new listing. This leads to this page, which we can add a title of text books, a description of old text books. Can be longer than that. Then we can put a category, a price, say we can select from this field, or we can enter our own value, say about 80. It is done in Australian dollars. And then we can have it as well used for all these textbooks, and then a suburb to pick it up from. And then we can choose to either have pickup, local delivery, or postal delivery. Gonna have it as pickup, and then we can choose a file from here. I'm going to, for now, choose this image of textbooks, and then choose this set of textbooks, and then I can create the listing. It says the listing has been created, and then it takes us to the main field, and here we can see our listing with both images. That one's a bit low quality. And then we have that. To edit a listing, we can go to Profile, My Listings, and then hit the Edit button. Here we can edit all fields, and we can choose to remove images from here. Say this image was a bit low quality, so we can remove that. And then we can choose new images, such as this one and this one, to show the amount. And because we're selling more books, we can upgrade this to 100. And we can then push it so that it is now those values. And as you can see, it is updated and has more images. From here, we can then go to delete the listing from the same area, My Listings, and then we can delete the listing here, and then it'll delete it. And then since I have no more, this button will now lead to the create listing again.
Hello, my name is Edward Mogg, and today I'll be taking you through the advanced search feature of the marketplace. So the advanced search has many different filters throughout it. You can search by keywords, category, condition of it, the price of it, if it's available, and it works with a sort measure, so you can see like most saved items or most recent and stuff like that. The UI is easy to look at and it follows the rest of the website. On the server side, it has indexed fields for price, date, and saved, and obviously it would exclude the sold items already, so that items archived, it will not include them into it. To go through it, so this is the marketplace. For example, you can search for an item and it will come up. You can change the minimum and maximum price of an item. So if you don't want to see expensive items, you can get rid of that. You can see the categories for it. For example, you can go electronics, and you can also change the min-max price and search in that area too. It can also have over here, you can categorize it by most recent. You can title it A to Z or most saved. So it goes through and it will show you which items are saved the most, showing you most likely which thing is the best for what you need, as people are looking at that the most. Hi, my name is Edward Mogg, and I am here again to talk to you about the admin menu in our website. So there are two types of users, admins and users. This is all enforced server side, and admins also have guardrails so they can no longer delete themselves or other admins. Admins can choose to delete posts and get rid of them. This allows us to get rid of content that we deem not appropriate for the website. And you can also see all the posts and search for them easily using an advanced search. You can also search for users, and you can disable and even delete users. I will now show you this by going to the marketplace. So you can see this account has an admin menu, where this account over here does not have an admin menu. So this account is verified as an admin. So you can go into the admin menu and you can see different posts. So I can delete this post from here, and this account will no longer have any listings. So if I go view, it says page not found. So it no longer exists, and there is no longer a listing there anymore. You can also go to users and you can search for users, and so this account called Eddie Mogg, you can search for it and disable it. So this stops this account over here from being able to create a listing and will log them out. So if I quickly create a listing and then I try to create the listing, it says failed to create and it will log me out, not allowing me to log back in. Won't let me, it's disabled user. So I can go back over here, I can enable the user and I can log back into the account and everything should be back to normal. You can also delete users completely by hitting the delete user button. And it asks you if you are sure you want to do this, and you can delete them. Then this account, upon trying to create a listing or sign out and then sign back in, it won't let you because there's no credentials, and it will not let you make anything or send anything. Also in users, you can see admins, for example, or myself. It will not let me disable or delete this account, as it is an admin account.
Hello, my name is Jaden McSkimming, and I'm going to walk through the messaging system of UON Marketplace. So the messaging system is split up into two sections, the message threads and the direct messages. So first of all, I'm going through the message threads, which is the first page you see in the message system. So this displays all active conversations in a logged in user. So it pretty much gives you a summary of and a list of each conversation a user is part of. And it can change in each user because, it depends who's talking to who. And it uses threads, and it fetches these threads through message control on the back end of our program. So what it does as like a preview of the conversation, it's just the title of the listing, the usernames, the most recent message sent in the conversation or thread, and what time that most recent message was sent. And we can also indicate if the thread was read or unread, and users can mark it as read if they don't see it to be too important, or they can also just delete the conversation entirely if they don't need it. And by clicking a thread, it navigates the direct messages. And I can show you message thread here, where you can see it's a preview of each conversation a user is part of, and it's based on the listing that the user made or that you want to see for yourself, not through users themselves. That way you can have multiple conversations with one user but just with different listings. So we can see Franklin messaged us and is confused, so we can mark it as red. And then we can click on it, and that opens our direct messages. Okay, so in messaging system with direct messages, it's a one-to-one chat between the buyer and the seller based on the listing you've selected. And it uses Firebase authentication to actually identify the current user that's actually logged in. And now the messages loaded via message ID are in the message controller in the backend as before. And there are two ways to get into a message listing, a direct message with someone and make a conversation with them. It's when a user buys an item, or in the listings as well, they select message seller. Pretty much a conversation is immediately opened when pressing one of those two. And it automatically marks messages read when the actual direct message is opened from the thread tab. So I can show you. So here we have a listing, and by pressing message seller, we're back to where the direct message was before. And we can also buy it, say pay in cash, confirm purchase, which is successful. And now we're back here, but now the message immediately popped up saying, hey, I purchased your black pens. Additionally, we can do this with a whole new thing. We don't have to create a whole message. We can just do buy now again, and it creates a whole new direct message for it. And if we can go to the other profile, this is admin who was on the black pens, and if we refresh, there we have it. Hello, I just purchased your black pens through cash, meet in person. And we can also just mark as read, and we can also delete our message as well. Another thing to add is that the users have private conversations. So if I go to one user, then go to another user, the conversations will be completely different with different people. As you can clearly see with admin, and then just with the user Franklin. There's only 3 conversations here, all different, and here it's completely different conversations. And you can even see here that you can have multiple conversations with one user because of it directly being linked to listings instead of just the user itself, which allows for a lot more flexibility. And yeah, just to show you that all the messages here are private and nobody else can see the messages when in a different account besides the 2 people of the conversation. So, for example, Franklin can't see the conversation with demo here at all. Hello, it's Jaden again, now talking about the mobile accessibility integration within the UON marketplace. So our main goal for the mobile accessibility was so that we limited the horizontal swiping used in at the desktop, so less of a horizontal view and more of a vertical view. And the biggest change and function we added was to remove the top header entirely shown in the desktop and replace it with a dynamic hamburger menu, which is only available if you view it in a mobile view. That way it's a lot easier for users. They don't have to scroll around, they can just click one button and lots of links will pop up for them. The touch targets were also made larger and centered into a natural thumb zone. That way it's a lot more natural for users to use and easier to press instead of the precise clicking used in desktop. We limited landscape scrolling as much as possible, although there are some aspects still there of landscape scrolling, such as tables, which you will see soon. And we tested it on multiple devices from Pixels to iPad Pros, and I can show you the mobile view now. So as you can see, the header is removed, and instead we have a hamburger menu, such as, and you can change things here. Browse Marketplace, it's much more vertical now instead of the horizontal we usually get. And one of the biggest changes is in messages, where instead of where the preview was a lot larger for the threads, you now only get the user and the listing, while still being able to mark as read and delete. However, the marking as read doesn't show up in the mobile app, although you can still click it just the same. We've made the refresh button larger as well to make it easier to press compared to what it looked like in desktop. And here's the create listings, much more smaller, and we had to move the preview down here just so we didn't have any horizontality. So yeah, mainly it was more so about remove the horizontal, making it vertical, as I said. Here's a listing, which is quite similar to the original one, just once again bunched up and moved vertically. If we move to our admin page, we can also see the changes we've made to our admin console. As you can see, we haven't deleted all horizontality like we aim to do. So stuff like tables, users still have to swipe horizontally. But for the most part, we've tried to make it as user-friendly as possible when accessing mobile.